I want to focus on innovation. So I'm going to take us through a very thin slice of this work. And specifically, I want to make an assertion. I want to assert that to bring about innovation, we need to be innovative. So what do I mean by be innovative? We have to be able to be innovative in the way that we think, the way that we relate with other people. We need to move beyond the habits of thinking that we ordinarily have if we're to be able to become innovative. So I'm going to invite us to think through what it means to be innovative, which is the central question of what I want to be talking about. We normally don't talk about these things in polite company. These are not the things that we normally talk about. And in all the years that I've been doing this kind of work, I have discovered that there's no other way. If we want to be agile, if we want to become innovative, we need to shift our consciousness. So, where does innovation start? So how many people have noticed that we live in a world of volatility, uncertainty, accelerating change, and ambiguity? How many people have noticed that? That's kind of what we're talking about here, isn't it? Now, VUCA is the place where innovation, the possibility of being innovative, starts. It's in VUCA. To be able to stand in the face of the complexity, of the uncertainty, of the unpredictability of our world, and to be able to create something new, not just something that is useful for people, but something that creates a new possibility. Like, how many people remember the old iPods? Remember those things? When the iPod first came out, it was a revolution. It was complete. There was nothing like it. And I assert that the iPod could not have happened were it not for the chaos of the whole recording industry, the music sharing thing. Remember all of that was going on? It was chaos. And the people at Apple had a vision to build from that chaos and create something new. Now, the problem is, for most of us, is that it is psychologically challenging to stand in the face of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, accelerating change, isn't it? It is for me. I mean, when I do the things that I do, oftentimes I'm stepping into the unknown. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. And most of us are not comfortable with that. And for the most part, what we do in the face of our discomfort, because it's our own psychological discomfort. Is it okay if we talk about psychology and emotions here today? Is that all right? We have to, don't we? I mean, if we are going to be truly innovative, we have to start with what it's like for us. And how can we elevate the way that we think? How can we elevate our ability to stand in the face of our own anxiety when we don't know what's going to happen next? So we're standing in the face of this VUCA and this volatility, and we experience the discomfort of not knowing. So what do? We try to get things under control. We put control processes, we put rules, we put policies, we create standards, we create laws, we kind of regulate the way that we relate with one another. And I would call this a kind of a predict and plan approach. Predict and plan in the sense that we are predicting, we have the illusion, because remember, we're standing in the face of volatility, uncertainty, accelerating change, and ambiguity, and we live in the illusion that we can predict, in the face of all that, we can predict the future, on the basis of that prediction, make plans. Now, the thing is that it's not us doing this predict and plan thing. It's it doing us. So I know this is, I promise that we're going to work this out, okay? And we're going to have to do a little bit of work here because we have to think in a different way to get this, all right? So it's kind of like an inner operating system. You know, like when I take out my phone, wherever it is, when I take out my phone, I'm using all these different apps and I'm doing all this stuff and I'm making phone calls and I'm reading the news, I'm checking my email. I am completely unaware that there is an operating system operating on my phone. I don't know that until it starts harassing me to say I need to upgrade my operating system, because if I don't upgrade my operating system, pretty soon some of those apps won't work very well. Right? Have you noticed that? So we as human beings are kind of like that. We have an inner operating system which determines which apps can run, which things we're able to comfortably do, and which apps we cannot run, which kinds of things we cannot comfortably do. That inner operating system determines all of that. So if what we're up to is creating innovation, bringing about innovation, we're going to need to upgrade that inner operating system, because most of us, for the most part, operate in a predict and plan kind of mode. We need to upgrade our inner operating system from a predict and plan to something else, something that I am calling sense and respond. And a sense and respond operating system makes it possible for us to be able to stand in the face of the volatility, the complexity, the ambiguity, and to be able to create in the face of that. So by upgrading our inner operating system, which is the way that we make sense of the world, the way that we see things, the way that we think, if we upgrade that inner operating system, it becomes possible to function, to operate in the VUCA world that we live in with greater satisfaction, a sense of excitement. Actually, operating in a VUCA world is exciting. It's actually the source of joyful creation, I would assert. And many of us feel that oftentimes, but we don't have any real mastery around that.